Today we're going to talk about Smite 2 and why I think you should play it, especially if you're bored with your current rotation. But first, a quick overview on the game. Smite 2 is a MOBA, just like League of Legends and Dota. Look at me rhyming. There are some differences between Smite and other MOBAs. One is the camera style, which sits in third person, and that's my preferred way to game. Another is the fact that the champion roster is based on legends and pantheons from different cultures around the globe, rather than having original character design. There's one other third person MOBA that's decently popular, I guess. It's called Paragon, but in my humble opinion, I think it sucks. I'm not going to go into why I don't like it, as that would make this video too long, but if you'd like a Smite versus Paragon comparison, drop a comment below. Back to Smite 2. The game is much more easily digestible than other MOBAs I've played. I would say that the closest to a beginner-friendly experience would be Wild Rift, but I don't enjoy playing games on my phone, so it's not a game that I could ever really get into. Now, me and Smite, the first one, go way back to like 2016-ish. The first game is still operational, but I would highly encourage that you download the second, especially if you have never played the Smite franchise before. So what's the difference between the two, and why did Hi-Rez decide to make a second game? Well, for starters, the most glaringly obvious one is that the first was made with Unreal Engine 3 and the second with UE5. Here's some side-by-side gameplay for comparison, and you can see that the update was a much needed one. Smite 2 isn't just prettier, but it feels much more responsive than the original due to it being built on Unreal Engine 5. Now, some of you are going to hear UE5 and you're immediately going to start worrying about performance issues, but there are YouTube tutorials out there that can help guide you through some settings if you're having any trouble with that. I'm playing on a ROG laptop, and when the game first dropped, it had a ton of frame rate stutters and lag, and it was very annoying. I ended up putting the game down for a while. I came back a few weeks ago out of curiosity whenever Ganesha was released, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that a lot of those issues had been solved and fixed. I might encounter minor issues every now and again, but they quickly resolve themselves and they're definitely not game breaking. Another difference is that the game is still in beta and it is not fully released yet, so it doesn't have the large roster of characters that the original Smite has. The devs are slowly getting more champions introduced, and I think that right now there's a perfect balance for new players to have a variety of champions to play with without feeling overwhelmed. Now, before I start explaining why I think that this is the best MOBA for new and casual players, let me be clear about something. My advice extends to normal matches only. If you hop into a rank match and your teammates cuss you out because you go so negative that you could be mistaken for the US debt, don't you come back here crying to me, okay? I am not your mama. I'm not gonna gentle parent you. I'm gonna cuss you out too. Okay, moving on. So, Smite has always been my recommended game when my non-MOBA friends ask for suggestions simply because of the extra game modes. Arena and Joust are extremely low stakes and don't require the sheer amount of homework that it takes to learn something like League of Legends. There is a mode called Conquest, and that is your traditional MOBA-like setup with 3 lanes and a jungle, and I'm not going to cover that today because if you're new, that can be extremely overwhelming. This is where knowing strategies in addition to what the champions can do comes into play, and we want to relax after a hard day at work, right? Like, we're not learning new shit. Smite 2 kicks these fun, quick play matches up a notch by streamlining the process for casual players even more. Right when you load into the match, after picking your champion, you are given the choice to auto-build or choose your own items. If you're new, I'm going to recommend the auto-build function every time. Why? Well, because it allows you to learn champions and kits without trying to focus on item synergy and worry about where you might have gone wrong in a build. It frees up valuable brain space and allows you to have fun in the match without watching your gold and thinking about which item should come next. You simply run out there and fight, and if you have enough gold the next time you return to the fountain, then the game will take that item and place it in your inventory and off you go. From the different champions I have used it with, the auto building served its purpose entirely. I have no complaints, and I don't feel like the builds were lacking as I approach level 20. The other upside to this is the ability to experiment with different champions as you explore your playstyle. Oftentimes I hard lock myself into the tank role, and then I get burnt out on the game because I'm too lazy to learn ADC items. Another thing that I think makes this game attractive is that it is free to play. Now, there is a Founders Edition that you can purchase, and if you purchase a Founders Edition, you will get every god that's currently out unlocked, in addition to every god that is released in the future. However, you can unlock the gods just by leveling up, so this is an entirely personal choice for you, and I wouldn't tell you to do either or. It also has controller compatibility and is available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Pretty please. All right, so this next section is filled with my opinions. You can take them or leave them, not up to you. I prefer the overall look of Smite compared to League and Dota. Now, League has the superior item system, but Smite just has better champions and better kits, and it just has better playability overall. If high res wasn't filled with morons at the top making the dumbest decisions over and over again, Smite could have possibly grown at least close to the popularity that League enjoys. But that's neither here nor there, so. It's so easy to hop onto Smite, play a few games for an hour, and then hop off. In League, if you're playing League, sometimes you can have a match that gets very close to being an hour long. And if you are playing that one match and it's going that long and you lose, you're probably going to be pissed off. I know many times my night has been ruined because there's been like a really close game that got lost because of stupid mistakes that were being made. And then it's like I just forget that I'm just playing a game, and then I'm pissed off and now my evening's ruined, and that doesn't happen when I play Arena on Smite. And don't get me started on the king of long matches, okay, Dota. I don't know how y'all Dota players do it. Side note, I don't really know any real Dota players in real life, but are they as committed to things in real life as they are to that game? Because I mean, Dota players seem like adults, you know what I mean? Like they're real adults. I'm just a pretend adult. Somebody confirm in the comments for me, like are Dota players like real adults, or are they happier than League players? And my final opinion is that Smite 2 is easy to learn. You can play games with bots if you're too nervous to get into a real match without practicing. There also seems to be less pressure from other players. I rarely run into griefers while playing in arena mode, and most people are friendly in the post-match lobby. Occasionally there's a jerk taking this way too seriously, but the mute button is always a lovely option. So, what do you think so far? Would you try it? Drop a comment below if you have a question or if you feel like I missed something. Thanks for watching. See you later, nerds.